Lock intercepted, picked off by Jesse Bates, and Bates will take it all the way for a Falcons touchdown.
Holy smokes, guys. The Atlanta Falcons just absolutely demolished the New York Giants 34-7. This was a game I expected to be a blowout, but this really wasn't just a win. This was a statement, a full-on beatdown that has the rest of the NFL starting to pay attention. Michael Penix Jr. was as good as advertised, and now the Falcons all of a sudden are tied for first in the division. The path to the playoffs is clear, and I want to talk about how the Vikings got to this point, as well as what they got to do moving forward to get to their goal. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so let's talk about the man of the hour, the rookie sensation, the one and only Michael Penix Jr. This guy, in his very first NFL start, looked like he'd been doing this for years. Penix went 18 of 27 for 202 yards, and get this, 0 interceptions. That's right, 0, nada, in his NFL debut. That's the kind of poise you expect from a 10-year veteran, not a rookie making his first start, even though again, I do recognize it was the tanking Giants. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about the touchdowns? Well, let me tell you something. Penix might not have thrown any TDs, but he orchestrated this offense like a seasoned conductor. He was slinging it all over the field, setting up his teammates for success, and when it came time to punch it in, Bijan Robinson was there to finish the job. And speaking of Bijan, let's break down his performance a bit more. He was an absolute unit out there, carrying the ball 22 times for 92 yards with 2 touchdowns. He may have only averaged 4.3 yards per carry, but that's right on track to get first downs. And he was the workhorse that wore out the Giants throughout the game. He was breaking tackles, making guys miss, and showing off that burst that made him a top 10 pick. He's the real deal, and he's only going to continue to get better. But let's not forget about the real stars of the show, the defense. Holy cow, did they come to play today. 2 pick sixes. The last time that happened for Atlanta was way back in 1983. I wasn't even born then, and some of you watching this probably weren't either. Jesse Bates got the party started with a 55-yard pick six in the second quarter, reading Drew Lock's eyes like a book and taking it to the house. Then, not to be outdone, Matthew Judon decided to join the fun with a 27-yard pick six of his own in the fourth. That's when you knew it was over. The Giants were done, they were cooked, not that they had any incentive to try to win anyways. But it wasn't just the big plays. The Falcons defense was suffocating all game long. They held the Giants to just 255 total yards and forced multiple turnovers. The pass rush was for the most part relentless, racking up 3 sacks and countless pressures. AJ Terrell was locking down receivers like it was his job, which I guess it is. And let's not forget about Grady Jarrett in the middle, eating up double teams and still making some plays. This defense is for real, and they are a big reason why the Falcons have got to this point. I know, as I've said so many times, the Giants aren't exactly world beaters this year, but here's the thing. Good teams dominate bad teams, and that's exactly what the Falcons did today. They didn't just win, they crushed the Giants' spirits. They took their lunch money, gave them a wedgie, and sent them home crying. Sorry, that was so cringy, but that's what playoff teams do. And it will be interesting to see how the rest of this season unfolds, because now all of a sudden, Atlanta has a real shot. I think pretty much everyone was pumped to finally see Penix get out there on the field, and he stole the headlines, and we saw how dangerous this offense can be with him out there. It's going to be tough for teams to find an answer to stop him. What stood out to me was how balanced the Falcons offense was, especially in the first half. They ran 34 plays, 18 called passes, 16 called runs. And if you would have told me the Falcons would run that many plays in a half, I would have guessed a lot higher for the amount of runs. So that showed us all the faith and confidence the coaching staff had in Michael Penix Jr. And that was a big concern with him really only having a few days to practice before this game. But yeah, they just completely unleashed the beast. None of the concerns showed on the field. And I think the confidence the coaching staff showed in him is what led him to play so free. And the offense was actually running play action. The playbook was open, and they were finally getting risky. I don't know if it was more that they closed the playbook for Kirk Cousins because he couldn't make plays, or if Penix is just that much more versatile of a guy. But this looked like a new offense, and even with some mistakes, 34 points is about as good of a day as you can have against anyone. Unless you're the Detroit Lions, of course. I don't really want to hate on Kirk Cousins. He's such a good guy. He's been one of my favorite players in the league for quite some time now, but now all of a sudden, everyone understands what the Falcons were doing in the draft. Everyone clowned them and said the move made no no sense. Obviously, there was a good reason to think they made a mistake at the time, but now we are seeing a talented rookie that got to sit and learn through the first half of the season. And they finally let him see the field against a bad opponent to get him in a rhythm, and now he is looking to turn this offense into an explosive unit as they look to position themselves for a playoff push that is very much still in the picture. I mean, who would have thought they could win the division? But here we are after the Buccaneers dropped a crazy game to the playoff eliminated Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Zach Robinson kind of showed us he didn't think Cousins was capable of running basic play action concepts. They ran a pretty boring offense, but I guess better late than never to change it, because we finally got to see the creativity in his playbook. All it took was getting Penix behind center. This is what the offense should have been all season long. But yeah, if this is anything like what the offense is going to be in the foreseeable future, I don't think anyone can complain. It was a crazy path to get here, but the Falcons have arrived. And the thing that perfectly summarizes Penix's first game is steady. He was good. Obviously the stats don't stand out, he was missing those touchdowns, but he showed what he needed to show to get Falcons fans on the wagon. Obviously there is still a long way to go. Penix still has to go out there and make some bad mistakes. He's got to mess up and learn from it, and it's pretty crazy that he is now out there right in the thick of the division race, as I mentioned. But he's a competitor. He played and fought through pain in big games at Washington. I think he's ready for the moment. I think he's going to take what is given. He's not going to force things. And man, next week against the Commanders is going to be crazy. Dare I say both QBs have similar playing styles. I know Jaden Daniels has been going crazy all year, but this is definitely one of the more intriguing games next week. And we will get to see if this Atlanta offense really is just like that now, or if we need to pump the brakes. Because at the end of the day, the defense still played a major role in a lot of the points against the Giants. Anyways, here's what Penix and some of the other guys and coaching staff had to say about the dub against New York.
You know, always preparing like the starter, even though I wasn't at first. But, you know, it's a blessing to be able to come out here and get a big-time win for the team. And defense played a heck of a game. You know, a big credit to those guys. 2 touchdowns on the defense side of the ball. And the offensive line, you know, the way that they play, you know, kept me clean all game. And obviously getting the ball to the playmakers that we have, you know, they're going to make plays, and they did all game. So it was such a blessing, you know, and it was a great game, great team game.
I'm more pleased the way the team played today, the way they responded. Really rallied behind a young man. He went out and played almost flawless football and kept the game really clean and kept everything clean for us in order for us to get a win. I was really pleased with the efforts today. You know, it's a great job by us. It's a great job by how we wanted to manage it, how we wanted to get him out there. Like we mentioned last week, you know, the plan came a little bit sooner, but the kid was ready. We had a lot of time to develop him. The kid did a great job himself developing himself and getting ready for that moment where it wasn't too big, and I was really proud and pleased with the effort he was able to go out there and play with.
That's all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know who you'd like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.